Good day, Sint Maarten. I'm Yesenia Lassero.
And I'm also Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of Sint Maarten NEWSDESK.
Brought to you by TV15.
We're bringing the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
What a hot summer! Before we talk about that, let's just dive into our top headlines.
KPSM destroys over 65 unclaimed scooters in yard cleanup. The police force of St. Maarten, KPSM, has carried out a major cleanup effort of its police yard on Tuesday, August 5th, this year, 2025, by crushing 66 scooters and motorcycles that had been impounded over the past 6 months. These vehicles were seized during traffic controls for lacking legal documents or being unsafe to drive. Despite repeated public calls for owners to collect their property, many scooters were left abandoned. With hurricane season underway, KPSM said the unclaimed vehicles posed a safety hazard. Working alongside other authorities, the police decided to clear the yard and destroy the uncollected scooters. KPSM reminded residents that any remaining scooters or motorcycles at the police station must be retrieved with proper documentation. Owners can contact Officers J. Abreu or R. Prospers at 542-2222 on weekdays between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Vehicles not collected will also be removed and destroyed.
Police seek public's help in identifying Simpson Bay Resort armed robbers. Authorities in St. Maarten appealed to the public for assistance following a violent armed robbery at the Simpson Bay Resort on Wednesday, July 9th. The incident took place around 5:15 p.m. in the lobby of the resort, targeting Splash Jewelry. Police reported that 3 masked suspects dressed in dark and blue clothing entered the premises by vehicle and made their way into the hotel lobby and store. During the attack, the store owner was struck on the head with a hammer and injured. The assailant fled with an undisclosed quantity of jewelry. In an effort to identify those responsible, the St. Maarten Police Force and the Prosecutor's Office released surveillance screenshots to the public. Investigators are urging anyone who witnessed the robbery, saw suspicious activity near the resort around 5 p.m. or has any information, no matter how minor, to come forward. Tips can be shared via the Police Anonymous tip line 9300 or by calling 542-2222 or by visiting the police station. Officials stress that every piece of information could be critical to solving the case. KPSM mid-year 2025 review shows traffic safety gains and crime control success. The police force of St. Maarten released its mid-year 2025 review highlighting both road safety improvements and strong results in crime control. In traffic enforcement, KPSM intensified checks on illegal off-road motorcycles known as dirt bikes, which are not equipped for street use and cannot be legally registered or insured. Many riders were found performing dangerous stunts, weaving through traffic and riding on sidewalks. Police remind the public that all two-wheel motorized vehicles must meet legal road safety standards, or they will be confiscated and their riders fined. From January to July, traffic fines more than doubled compared to last year, rising 110% from 877 in 2024 to 1,845 in 2025. During the same period, vehicular accidents dropped by 10.6% from 965 in 2024 to 863 this year, same time. On the crime front, KPSM reported 5 armed robberies targeting jewelry stores, 4 in Phillipsburg and 1 in Simpson Bay. Suspects were arrested in 4 of these cases, with 3 arrests made in the act. In total, 8 individuals were detained in connection with the robberies. Overall arrests also increased, with 406 recorded between January and early August compared to 377 in the same period last year. Assault, vandalism, theft, and weapons violations were the top offenses, and most suspects fell in the 30 to 40-year-old range. KPSM credited these results to intensified patrols, unmarked operations, expanded surveillance, and close cooperation with the Ministry of Justice and the community.
Scooter collision sparks SUV fire on A.J.C. Brouwers Road. On Tuesday night, August 4th, a serious traffic incident on A.J.C. Brouwers Road resulted in both a scooter and an SUV catching fire. Police received multiple calls around 9 p.m. about the blaze on the uphill stretch towards Harold Jack. When the police and firefighters arrived, they found both vehicles engulfed in flames. The fire department quickly extinguished the fire. Initial investigations revealed that the scooter rider heading uphill towards the Cratov roundabout lost control, fell, and slid into the front of the SUV. The impact caused the SUV to ignite. The scooter rider fled the scene before authorities arrived. The police traffic department has launched an investigation and is urging anyone with information or who witnessed the incident to contact the Phillipsburg Police Station at 542-2222 or call anonymously at the tip line 9300. KPSM reiterated its warning to scooter and motorcycle riders to operate responsibly, stressing that reckless riding endangers not only the rider themselves, but also the road users. Police said enforcement against dangerous behavior will continue, with controls aimed at improving safety for everyone.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with a Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, Sint Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us. And that's it for your Sunshine Report, brought to you by the Met Department of St. Maarten. Stay safe, stay friendly, Sunshine City.
Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thank you for being part of this weather community. I've been going through all the comments. Thank you for all the likes on the videos. You keep me going. All right, let's get a look at several spots we're watching, which is typical for this time of year. But I want to draw our attention down to one spot in the Caribbean for us. It's not getting a lot of attention, and these are the spots I really watch out for this time of year. Some of the more obvious ones, you know, we track together, no doubt, but these spots can be a little bit sneaky. So I'm watching this area here, and I mentioned yesterday the higher threat of flooding in parts of Trinidad and Tobago, mainly Trinidad, not as much Tobago, but we're going to be seeing this blob right here working across the Caribbean. Is it going to develop? Only a very low chance, but there is a chance. But either way, there's going to be a lot of rain working across for some of us, eventually toward Jamaica, eventually toward Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. So here is the spot flaring up the rain. Watching near Grenada over toward Tobago, we will see some additional rain, but especially northeastern Venezuela and Trinidad, we're going to see the flooding. So please share the information about this, if you don't mind, just to get the word out about the potential of flooding, especially on the south side. The typical spots we get some flooding. We are going to see some high rain totals out of this area, but either way, we're going to be watching that rain on the move, so we'll cover that. Now, also watching this, several tropical waves. Here's the one that is more likely to stay out to sea, and then watching this one here and the one back behind it, now moving into western sections of Africa. Now, you get these coming off of Africa this time of year, but it's because of the global trade winds. For example, if you're up in Europe, it looks like all the weather's coming from parts of Canada and the United States. If you're on the other side of Africa, looks like the weather's coming from the Indian Ocean, so it just kind of depends on perspective. Now, looking at that strong tropical wave in the central Atlantic, I'm not seeing a whole lot of development out of it. Model's still on track to keep this away from the Caribbean. I do want to watch us in Bermuda down the road. Now, as we get back here, still big picture, with the American model. A lot of similarities as a whole now. Watching this rain in the southeastern Caribbean. I will zoom down to that as promised. Plenty to cover. And then watching this spot in the central Atlantic and the new tropical waves coming off the coast of Africa. Plus, we'll get into that spot there off the coast of the Carolina. So lots of areas to watch. I know. Now, as we go forward in time, this is later today as we work our way out in time, just ticking ahead as we get through the end of the week into the upcoming weekend. You can see as we get into Saturday, working our way into Sunday here, stopping it in the second half of the weekend. This is Sunday. Now, you see a couple things. Here's that spot working through the Caribbean. Not developed, but still that rain holding together, so it has my attention. Here's that spot we're watching in the central Atlantic in the new tropical waves that will be coming off. Again, this is on Sunday. Also keeping an eye on this area of rain in the eastern Gulf. Sometimes you get a little development there, so also watching that. Now, going out in time here, even more so, this is by next week, so as we work our way into Tuesday of next week, you can see right here, over toward Jamaica, we're going to have a higher chance of rain. Will it be organized? Most likely not, but there is that possibility, so watching that. Here's that spot south of Bermuda, and there are the new tropical waves that are coming off. These will eventually be a little bit more likely to work their way off to the west. Let's go on time here more so. Now, this is a week from now, so we know we're going to get some changes in this. This is by the middle of next week, keeping an eye on this area that will eventually work from Jamaica back toward Belize, over toward Cozumel, Cancun. This is what I'm monitoring for development. Here's that spot near Bermuda. We'll see what happens with that. Another area back behind it. Now, the American model wants to curve the tropical wave here, but then the ones back behind it wants to drive them a little bit more off toward the west. So we'll just go spot by spot as we go forward in these upcoming videos. Now, here's that zoom down look for us, and watch how this evolves right across the Caribbean. No signs of organization in any of the models, but we know, as we talked about, those water temperatures are so very warm. You could see the rain, and I mentioned a 2-3 day rain event. This is by late tomorrow. We're still talking about some areas of heavier rain. Trinidad and Tobago, northeastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and keeping an eye on this moisture, northern Bahamas, Cuba, back toward the Yucatan Peninsula. This will kind of feed into the eastern Gulf, so we'll keep tabs on that. But look how this rain is sticking around. Let's go on time a couple days from now, work our way into Saturday. We are still talking about that blob of rain. That's why I asked you to share this information to get the word out for that flood potential in Trinidad and Tobago. We've already seen the rain. It is going to continue to pile up, giving you that heads up. I tried to do that yesterday, doing that again today. And there's some of that rain, watching that, not organized, but watching the northern Bahamas, mainly north of the Florida Keys. And then you see eventually on Sunday, this rain starts to work across the Caribbean. Conditions above our head, it's not favorable or conducive for development, which is great, but these water temperatures, always a concern for me to see if anything tries to develop. You can see here, most of the rain south side of Haiti, maybe over toward Jacmel, south side of Santo Domingo, or Dominican Republic, over toward Santo Domingo. We could get some of that additional rain on Monday, and you see this blob with me as we go out in time here even further, Monday into Tuesday. By Tuesday, if this all kind of hangs together, we'll get a better chance of rain on Tuesday in Jamaica. Watching out for any organization. The warm, deep water is right in through here, so we'll see how the atmosphere does, the environment does, to see if this develops. But either way, once we get into Wednesday, then this area starts to march its way across, may clip us by in the Cayman Islands with additional rain, and then moving back toward parts of the Yucatan Peninsula and Belize as we get toward the middle and end of next week. So what we're going to do together, again, not seeing development, very concerned about significant flooding southeastern Caribbean, but over the next few videos, we'll just track this together and then watching additional spots of rain, and there's that new tropical wave out there in the Atlantic, just missing or getting close to Bermuda. So multiple areas to track, monitoring the Caribbean, tropical waves coming across, and I'll be watching out for some of that development possible near the Carolinas. Got you covered right here. Thank you for your patience in this video. Have a good rest of your day and be safe with some of that flooding.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. we give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV 15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the Late Night Show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV 15.
Thank you, TV 15. Make sure to tune in
Make sure to tune in to the Late Night.
and Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late Night.
Justice Ministry advances legal placement process for personnel. The Ministry of Justice continued to make progress in distributing national ordinances, or LBAs, to formally establish the placement of justice personnel under the new Justice Function Book. This initiative formed part of the Ministry's wider push for structural reform and greater legal certainty across the justice chain. As of early August 2025, batches 14, 15, and 16 were in various stages of validation and review. Under the revised approach, justice workers were now invited to provide feedback earlier in the process, a step aimed at improving transparency and reducing delays from objections. Batch 14 had completed validation with personnel scheduled this week to review their LBAs alongside their validation files. Batch 15 was nearly at the end of its validation phase, while Batch 16, covering all 95 staff at the Point Blanche prison, remained under review and was being processed in 3 phases for thoroughness. Once a draft LBA is issued, justice workers have 2 weeks to file any formal objections, which are reviewed by the Objections Committee. All placements are based on the Justice Function Book, which was introduced in 2023 to define official roles within the ministry. The ministry expected to finalize all remaining batches by the end of September 2025 this year, marking a major step toward legal regularization and a stronger, more accountable justice system.
Princess Juliana International Airport holds a job fair to recruit new security officers. Princess Juliana International Airport is hosting a dedicated job fair on Saturday, August 9th, aimed at recruiting additional security officers to support its growing operations. The event is taking place in the airport's check-in hall from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The initiative came as the airport reported a 10.8% increase in passenger traffic during the first quarter of 2025 compared to the same period last year, reflecting strong recovery and growth. Airport officials said the expansion of its security team was essential to maintaining high safety standards while enhancing the travel experience. Director of Security Emile Levans emphasized that more officers would enable the airport to remain vigilant and responsive, ensuring that every passenger feels safe and respected. The job fair featured one-on-one sessions with the HR team, presentations about the security officer role, details on training and career growth, and the opportunity for attendees to submit on-site applications. Candidates were encouraged to bring updated resumes, valid ID, and relevant certifications. The airport said the recruitment drive, it not only supports operational excellence, but also boosts local employment, reinforcing St. Maarten's standing as a premier travel destination. Police unions urge shared responsibility in crime prevention. The presidents of the NAPB St. Maarten and ABVO St. Maarten issued a joint response to recent concerns raised by the Indian Merchants Association, the IMA, acknowledging the challenges faced by business owners, but stressing that the responsibility for safety should not rest solely on law enforcement. The unions urge IMA members to take proactive measures such as installing security doors to protect their goods, staff, and premises, noting that such precautions could significantly deter armed robberies. They also criticized remarks made by ministers and parliamentarians suggesting that crime on the island was spiraling out of control. According to the unions, such statements could damage St. Martin's reputation and harm its economy, both locally and internationally. Highlighting the root causes of crime, the unions pointed to two main factors: socioeconomic pressures, including poverty, unemployment and limited education, and the rise in substance abuse involving drugs and alcohol. Both, they said, contribute to violence, robberies, and gang-related activity. Despite resource constraints, NAPB and ABVO commended law enforcement for meeting expectations in combating crime and maintaining safety for residents and visitors. They called for strong governance, effective leadership, and a collaborative approach to safeguarding the community.
CPS engaged in regional training to boost public health emergency readiness. The Collective Prevention Services, known as CPS, of the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor recently took part in a 4-day Caribbean Public Health Agency CARFA workshop in Kingston, Jamaica, aimed at strengthening emergency response and integrated earlier warning systems across the region. Held in July 2025, the training brought together more than 60 public health professionals from 11 CARFA member states, including epidemiologists, surveillance officers, laboratory specialists, and disaster management representatives. The sessions focused on improving emergency coordination, boosting surveillance capabilities, and enhancing the speed and effectiveness of natural disasters responses to public health threats. Participants were trained in CARFA's specialized tools, such as the enhanced DHIS tool system, the Tourism and Health Information System, and the Mass Gathering Syndromic Surveillance System. A central element was the timeliness metric strategy, designed specially for the Caribbean to help countries identify delays between detection and response, enabling faster decision-making to prevent large outbreaks. CPS noted that lessons from COVID-19 underscored the importance of early warning systems, integrated monitoring, and up-to-date response plans. It said continued participation in CARFA's led initiatives ensures St. Maarten remains aligned with regional and global best practices, contributing to the stronger collective readiness against future pandemics.
The Ministry of Vromi, Department of Infrastructure Management, together with the Police Department KPSM, is making changes to traffic on a section of Canagita Street and Manzanella Steak, Phillipsburg. The Canagita Street from the intersection with Percy LaBega Street to Manzanella Steak will now be a one-way street. Inbound traffic can enter Canagita Street from Percy LaBega Street and drive straight ahead or turn left into Manzanella Steak. Outbound traffic leaving town on Canagita Street must make a right turn onto Manzanella Steak. Entry further into the Canagita Street will no longer be permitted. Outbound traffic exiting Manzanella Steak onto Walter Nisbet Road can either make a right or left-hand turn. The Ministry of Vromi, Department of Infrastructure Management, and the Police Department would like to thank the public for their attention to this change. Please follow the new traffic rules and signage and drive safely.
Guess what? I got an idea. It's amazing. You see how we have the link sharing all everywhere?
QR link,
the
yeah.
QR link?
Yeah.
Raw Caribbean Channel app. Yeah. You're welcome. Put it in the back.
But it's not an app though. It's not an app. App you have to like download something to get it on your phone, take up space. It's not an app.
It's like an app. Therefore, it can be an app. So, it's an app. Raw Caribbean TV app. Say it with me, Al. Come on.
It's not an app, though. All you got to do with that, it's a link. You take the link, you hit the bookmark, you say add to home screen, and so it shows up like an app icon, but it's not an app, though.
Are you a real person? It is an app because you get to watch all the programs from Raw Caribbean at one place. It is an app.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but factually and technically, it's not an app. Kind of like we do the news, facts,
Yeah.
and you do that thing you do.
Whoa.
Point being, you just go to the QR, you hit bookmarks, and you hit add to home screen, and then you can have the link to, let's give it another name.
The app.
You want to call it the app?
Raw Caribbean TV app.
Jess.
Yes.
Jess, please, give some sense, Jess. Jess.
It's kind of like an app.
That's why she gets the big buck.
It's not an app, though. It's not a f***ing app. What the f***? It's not a f***ing app.
Ooh, you kiss your mother with her mouth? My God. Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Yes.
It's not an app, though.
Kadaster staff trained to boost safety and public interaction skills. Staff from the operations and front office departments of Kadaster St. Maarten recently completed a safety and awareness training aimed at improving preparedness when dealing with the public and working in the field. The initiative was led by Kadaster Director Benjamin Ortega in partnership with the law enforcement professionals Felix Richards, known for his community engagement efforts in schools and youth programs. Richards delivered targeted sessions to help frontline staff handle unpredictable situations, ranging from interactions with aggressive individuals or animals to navigating hazardous terrain by staying alert, thinking quickly, and acting decisively. Being aware is your first line of defense, Richards told participants, while Ortega stressed the importance of regular training to ensure staff feel safe, confident, and professional when serving the public. The training formed part of Kadaster's ongoing internal development program designed to strengthen both staff capacity and the quality of service delivery. Additional sessions and capacity building initiatives are planned for the upcoming months. Kadaster St. Maarten is responsible for maintaining accurate records of property ownership, boundaries, and land use, supporting legal certainty, property development, and government planning across the country.
Yolande Headley named first female GM of Flow Dutch East Caribbean. Liberty Caribbean operators of Flow, Liberty Business, and BTC announced the appointment of Yolande Headley as General Manager for its Dutch East Caribbean operations, overseeing Sint Maarten, Sabre, and Station. The promotion took effect on April 1st. Headley's appointment marked a historic milestone as she became the first woman to lead Flow's business in the Dutch East Caribbean. A Bajan national with over 34 years of experience in telecommunication, she has held roles across customer experience, finance, retail sales, and operations at Liberty Caribbean. Prior to her promotion, Headley served as Interim Director of Business Development for the region, where she successfully closed operational gaps and consistently met revenue goals. Liberty Caribbean's Vice President for the North Caribbean, Susanna O'Sullivan, praised Headley for her innovation, leadership, and commitment to excellence, highlighting her customer-focused vision and ability to empower teams. In her new role, Headley focused on nurturing talent, driving sustainable growth and enhancing customer experience across the Dutch East Caribbean, building on Liberty Caribbean's legacy of connectivity and service. Leaders for Change launches Shoe Drive to support students' education. The Leaders for Change Foundation launched the One Step, One Education, Give Shoes, Give Hope campaign, urging the community to help provide school shoes for students in need across Sint Maarten. The foundation emphasized that worn out or inadequate footwear affects more than comfort and impacts students' confidence, mental health, and ability to fully engage in school life. By giving shoes, the campaign aims to boost attendance, improve health and self-esteem, and empower children to pursue education with dignity. Leaders for Change called on individuals, community groups, businesses, government agencies, and NGOs to contribute by donating new or gently used school shoes, providing financial support, organizing collection drives, or spreading awareness on social media. The foundation stressed that every donation, no matter how small, made a direct difference in creating a more compassionate and inclusive learning environment. Those interested were encouraged and are encouraged to contact the foundation at lfcdirector2023@gmail.com or call 527-6381 to get involved. Together, the community can unite to give hope and change lives, one pair of shoes at a time.
Tzu Chi volunteers restore seniors' home after hurricane damage. Tzu Chi Foundation volunteers, together with Lourdes Martinez's brother, Nicolas, completed a full home repair for the 75-year-old senior resident in St. Maarten. The wooden house, originally built by Lourdes's late husband, had deteriorated badly and posed a safety risk, worsened by Hurricane Irma damage. After Lourdes sought assistance at the Tzu Chi Center in July 2025, the assessment confirmed the urgent need of repairs, especially to the bedroom's wooden panels. Tzu Chi provided materials while Nicolas led the labor with help from 10 volunteers. Starting July 23rd, a total of 33 people contributed to tasks including replacing windows, installing new siding, building a closet unit, and completing electrical repairs. The team worked with care and harmony, even shared meals during this project. The repairs finished on August 1st, followed by a small celebration attended by Lourdes, family, friends, and volunteers. Lourdes expressed a deep gratitude, relieved after years of worry about the house and her limited pension. Nicolas shared how the experience inspired him to help others in the future. Tzu Chi committed to monthly support and invited Lourdes and Nicolas to join future community relief efforts, exemplifying their mission of compassion and hope. That's all the time we have for today's edition of Sint Maarten News Desk.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. on TV 15 and then across our social media platforms. I'm Austin Lawrence.
And I'm Yolande Headley, and I'm wishing you an amazing weekend. See you next time.
What a hot summer. Go enjoy the beach this weekend and stay friendly.
St. Maarten.